Thomas here and welcome back to another video. So today we're back here for another weekly mansion build, and today we're going to go ahead and build this minimalistic modern mansion. So if you'd like to go ahead and download this for yourself, it is up on the gallery now. My origin ID is RealThomasTV1, and like normal there will be a link in the description to the online gallery if you want to go ahead and download the build that way. So this build, I'm actually really happy how it turned out. As I said, it's called a minimalistic modern mansion, so it's very simple, both in terms of the exterior and on the interior. That wasn't my plan to begin with. Like that, I know minimalistic means that, but to begin with, the idea I had for this build was just to make it like really white, like loads of white woods and white walls and everything like that. So it's very light and bright inside, and I think it looks really nice. So this build has 8 bedrooms and 7 bathrooms, and I built it on a 50 by 40 lot in Del Sol Valley in the Pinnacles, and it came in at 290,641 simoleons. And then for the packs used today, I did use a few more than normal. I was really loving this build, and I just kind of wanted to do what I wanted for today. I do a lot of restricted pack builds though, so there's a lot of stuff on my gallery that doesn't use as many packs as this. But saying that, like normal, I did try to remove unnecessary items where I could, and replace them for something that a pack has already been used in the build or something, just to reduce the pack list where I could. So for the expansions, I used all of them apart from Get to Work, and then for the game packs, I used Dine Out and Spa Day, and for the stuff packs, I used Fitness Stuff and Perfect Patio Stuff. I actually haven't used Fitness Stuff in a while. I tried to stop using it because I thought all I really use from that pack is like the painting and also the treadmills, when really we'll have loads of other treadmills and stuff in games. So I just try to not use that pack where I can, because I don't know how many of you like actually have it, and if I can not use it, then I'll try to do that, again just to make the pack list smaller with whatever build I'm doing. But for this one, I realised that I haven't done a build with Fitness Stuff in a while, and also it fits really nicely with this theme, so I thought I'd go ahead and use that for a change. So as I said, there are a lot of expansions used. Not all of them use like an overwhelming amount of items. So for example, I didn't use Get to Work, and also cats and dogs are barely used in this build either. If you don't have cats and dogs, then there'll be a few paintings from that pack that'll disappear, but they'll probably be replaced with other ones. And also I used the wood floor inside from that pack as well, but again that can be replaced for another one. There's a base game one that I should have used actually, but anyway. So I wanted the backyard area in this build to be like the main focus of it, because I think that's always the case with these Del Sol Valley lots in the Pinnacles. They always look better from the back, and also the lighting as well is better at the back, because the sun doesn't shine on the front of these lots in the Pinnacles at any time of the day, which is really frustrating for screenshots and stuff. So I always end up making the back of the lots the thumbnail for these type of builds. But anyway, there is a big pool area, lots of seating around that, and then there is this kind of bit that goes down here, which I was going to make into like a little grass area with like planter boxes and stuff on, but I thought, you know what, that's kind of making it a little bit too personalised and stuff, and a bit too much than what I was looking to do. So I just wanted to make it all like sitting areas and a barbecue area here as well. Again, going with that white theme. That's why I didn't want to use the planter boxes and stuff, because I don't really think those will look that right. But you know, you can easily just replace those if you want to play with that kind of thing in your own gameplay. And then I'm just making a little feature thing here in the middle of the swimming pool. And the landscaping as well, there is a bit of it, but it's not that complicated. It's just a bit more simple. So where the kind of flower beds are, where I'm going to place landscaping, as you can see, I kind of overload it with plants. Just kind of use a few simple ones. Again, I try to go for like green. Well, of course, all the landscaping has green in it. And then like choose like one other colour. So for today, I went for purple. There is some white in there as well. Because I've said this a lot, but I used to kind of go kind of crazy with the landscape and not really have like a plan or really think about it, and I end up just using like 1,000,001 colours. So nowadays when I do landscaping, I try to kind of go for that, you know, the neutral green that's in like the main plant, and then choose one colour for the flowers to kind of combine it with, and it just looks a bit more thought about, I think. So yeah, that's what I did there. There is a few balcony areas in this build as well. So there's one here at the back, and there's also one big one that kind of sort of like a wraparound kind of one as well, both on the kind of bottom floor, like the ground floor, and also above it as like a balcony. So there's lots of outdoor space in this build, which I thought would be really great for a house like this. And then on the interior, which we'll get onto shortly, I did make a fairly open plan. I thought again, for it being very light in terms of colour schemes and very bright, I would want to make it open plan, because I just thought that that would work better with what I was going for, so I did that. that. The upstairs as well, in terms of bedrooms, I think pretty much all the upstairs is just the extra bedrooms and bathrooms. I think there's 2 bedrooms downstairs. I did go for very neutral rooms today, but I did incorporate colour within them, so they're not just totally like white, so there is a bit of differentiation between them. So I didn't do any kids rooms today. I say this a lot, but if I do a modern build, kids rooms just never really work out that well for me, because I feel like with kids rooms you've got to make them a little bit more colourful and kind of nicer for a kid to be in. But when you kind of combine it with a modern build like this, it kind of looks a little bit out of place. So when I'm doing speed builds like this, you know, I just kind of tend to keep them neutral, especially with modern builds. Again, just incorporating colour so it's not totally neutral, still has some aspects of personality but not totally personalised. And then if you download it for yourself, then of course feel free to change up the colours and add some kids toys in and stuff like that to make it a little bit more just better for the kids. So now we're working on the kitchen diner. This room is pretty big, so it's got this bit here and then the diagonal bit that comes out of the side. I was mentioning this in one of the last modern builds I did, but I always tend to have a bit of trouble when it comes to making modern builds look a little bit more interesting to look at, I think, because I always tend to make them very sort of square and just not as many pop-outs as like a suburban home or something. And when I do pop-outs and stuff on modern builds, it doesn't always look that right for me for some reason. I just kind of struggle with them sometimes. I'm not really the best at modern builds. I don't do them that often. I have been doing them a lot more often now, just for a bit of change on the channel for, you know, builds and mansions and everything. So yes, like I was saying, I tend to make modern builds look very simple from the exterior, so I did go ahead and put that diagonal in, and also because I'm not actually using roofing today, I'm just using half walls. I kind of made it a little bit easier for that as well, since I didn't have to mess around with diagonal roofing. So I just think that makes it look a little bit more interesting. It's not like a really big diagonal or anything, it's just a little pop out on the side, add a little bit more interest to look at, and like I said, that is where the dining area is, and then there is a balcony above it as well. I think I put a hot tub up there as well, actually. So down here, and like what else I've got going on with this build in terms of other rooms, there is a study. There is, like I said, 2 bedrooms downstairs. One of them is very white and like neutral, as if it could be like a guest room, and it is just a single bed in there. And then I also have a gym like inside the home, like the back right hand corner, because I didn't actually put a garage in today's build. I just didn't really have the space for it, but I did make kind of like a little parking kind of pavement area, I guess, like at the front left of the build, as you may see later, and I just put a few debug cars on there, but there wasn't actually space for a garage. And as you know, with garages, I do normally like to put a gym area within them. I just think it's a good space for it, so I did want to put a gym in here because there's a lot of modern gym items from, you know, fitness stuff like I was using today, also from Spa Day as well, actually. But anyway, so I wanted to include a gym somewhere. And it was having a lot of extra space, like extra rooms that I didn't really know what to do with, because I didn't want there to be too many bedrooms to bathrooms, because that was starting to be the case. I think there was going to be 9 bedrooms and 7 bathrooms to begin with, but I made one of the bedrooms into a gym instead, so now there's only 8 bedrooms and 7 bathrooms, which I know is less. It's still definitely enough space for a household, but it just means that the bedroom to bathroom ratio is a little bit more kind of suited to it, if that makes sense. So there's more space for everybody to use a bathroom who's living in the bedrooms, if that makes sense. So this is a living room here. Again, it is pretty big, it takes up a lot of space, but I kind of wanted that to be the case. Lots of nice big windows there too, looking out over the backyard area, the pool, and also the view of Del Sol Valley. And then I also didn't really know, I just did this by accident actually. As you can see, I put like a planter box within the coffee table there, the one from base game, that circle one. And so like I said, I did it by accident really, and it kind of worked well. It didn't kind of clip on the exterior of it or anything, it just kind of fit in nicely. So I thought that's something different for me, as I don't really do a lot of creative things when it comes to that. So it's not really a big thing or anything, it just looks a little bit different. And then I had this extra bit of space here on the right hand side of the room, kind of next to the bathroom there, which I didn't really know what to do with, so I just went ahead and put an extra seating area in there, so there should be enough space for everybody within this household. And then this room right here is the gym, I believe. Am I mistaken or not? No, it is the gym, yeah. So I just went ahead and put a few treadmills and just some general gym equipment in here. And by the way, this is where the Bailey Moon household is, just in case you're wondering where to place this, because I believe there's two 50 by 40s and one 64 by 64 in the pinnacles here, so that's where you place this one, but of course you could place it in the other 50 by 40 if you want to, but this is where I built it. And I did play test this build as well. I didn't mention that at the start, but this build is play tested, just to let you know about that. And this room right here is the kind of guest room, I would say. Now, you know, all of them are neutral, the bedrooms in today's build, so really any of them could be the guest room, but I just thought this one, in terms of it's like a little bit out the way because it's downstairs and the majority of the rooms are upstairs, the bedrooms upstairs. And then this also has a single room as well, and it is very, very neutral. When I say neutral like this, that's like extra neutral. So I would probably say that would be the guest room. And then this room right here, again, I don't know if this would be the master room. Again, maybe because it's like separate from all the bedrooms upstairs, this could be the master room. But it is a lot of space in here, and it does have an ensuite bathroom. There is one other room upstairs, which I could probably say would be a master room as well, which we'll get onto a little bit. Can't speak. I'm talking too fast. A little bit later, and that has like its own fireplace and a seating area. It also has like blue and white walls like this room does as well, so there are a few options there really. I did do a little bit off screen in terms of the floor plan, just because with bigger builds it sometimes takes a little bit more extra time to think about how I'm going to do everything and lay everything out. And when I have the camera record, well, the screen recorder going, I know a lot of people say the same thing, but it can be hard to do certain things when you've got like the pressure of the screen recorder going, and it kind of puts you off a little bit. So the majority of the time I do have to do the floor plan off screen, just so I can actually focus on it. And then I also went ahead and put the like the wall coverings and the flooring off screen as well, just because, you know, you're seeing it here anyway when we're doing this particular room. So if the build's getting on the longer side, which it is today, I try to keep things around 15 minutes long for videos at maximum, so I just went ahead and did that off screen as well. Talking about the timing and stuff, this build only took me just over an hour to do, which is really no time at all, and that's normally the case with builds like this where, you know, it's not too personalised, so I haven't got too much clutter to put in them as well. And you know, this is a minimalist mansion as well, so I didn't want it to be too cluttered and over the top. I try to keep things fairly simple, and just not too much furniture and stuff going on. It's very nice and easy just to walk around this build, if that makes sense. So I wanted to do that for today's build. So I know I don't do too much clutter in my builds anyway, but this one's kind of extra on that side because it is very minimalist today. And yeah, so this room right here, this is another option for a master room. It does have an ensuite, no, does it have an ensuite bathroom? Yeah, it does. And it has a fireplace there as well as its own study desk. So there's lots of extra things in this build, in this room, sorry, that would make it more suited to a master room. So, you know, there's a few bigger rooms, there's a few smaller bedrooms as well. So lots of options to kind of, you know, if you're having like a family, like maybe the smaller room would be for like a kid, and then this room could be for like the parents or something. So, you know, even though I don't do, you know, kind of very personalized builds, you can still get a bit of inspiration for what type of family would live in this build, and then you can adjust it to their needs and stuff. So this room right here again would probably be like a kid's room, but of course there isn't any kids toys in it, so you'd have to add those in if you wanted to use this as a kid's room. I did also go ahead and put some skylights in, those crystal clear objects from what's it from, Island Oven, yeah. So I went ahead and put some of those in on the roof, just as a little bit of extra detail for the exterior, because when I'm using windows that are like full length and stuff, I don't always put planter boxes on them because I don't really think it looks right all the time, and it just seemed like the outside was a little bit basic in terms of like just the walls and stuff of the exterior. So I thought adding those little skylights in would make it a little bit more interesting, both like I said for the exterior and also let some more lighting in the interior as well, so that's always a plus. And I did that off screen though, just as like I didn't actually really plan to do it, I just did it off screen just before I took the screenshot, so I thought, oh, I'll just add those in. But you know, it's nothing really too, you're not really missing much, it's just putting those tiles down on the roof. I did kind of place it down in order so it didn't look too messy, and also I had to go in and remove, like not remove the ceiling lights, but you know, those little saucer lights, as you can see, that have sized down. Some of them would like be over the glass roof, if that makes sense, so I had to move those lights out the way a little bit, so I did that off screen too, but it only took me 2 minutes. I've done a lot of modern builds where I've done that, so if you want to see how I actually do that, if you don't know, then any of my other modern builds that I've done recently pretty much have those skylights in, so you'll see them there. Anyway, so another thing, I'm pretty much finished with my Discover University builds for now. You know, I'm not going to totally like just stop them because the pack's out now and it's like over, you know, early access week or whatever. So I will probably, you know, still do them every now and again, but I don't really have any planned in for the next couple of weeks or anything. But I will just wait and see if I've got any more ideas that people have. If you want to see anything, you know, with that pack, then let me know. Anyway, so about to head on the screenshots in just under a minute, so I really hope you enjoyed. In the comment section down below, let me know about what you thought of this build. If you have any more suggestions for other builds or anything else that you want to see on the channel next, that'd be really helpful to hear. You can go ahead and download this build from the gallery. My origin ID is RealThomasTV1, and like I said, there will be a link in the description to the online gallery if you want to go ahead and download the build that way. So thanks for watching, make sure to leave a like, share and subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!